I see your tether looks like it's in a good config. And I think that completes a good buddy check for you.
Copy, good buddy check.
Houston copies good buddy checks. Great job, you two. With that, we are ready to start our translations. So, Chris, you will be translating to the forward edge of ESP2 via the starboard side. And Jess, you are headed up to the port CETA cart.
V1 copies.
V2.
I'm just going to move up onto the toolboxes and then reach across.
And with good buddy checks, the crew is now going to translate or begin to make their way to the work site for today. The work site is fairly close to the airlock, so they don't have too far to go. During today's spacewalk, you'll be able to tell our crew members apart by the stripes on their spacesuits.
Across.
So NASA astronaut Chris Williams will be wearing the suit with red stripes, and NASA astronaut Jessica Meir will be wearing the unmarked spacesuit.
You are 10 minutes up, and Jess, a caution for you: avoid inadvertent contact with the deployed test cable. Chris, on this translation, we suggest that you weave your safety tether as required along the starboard side of ESP2.
V1 copies.
And as the duo continues to make their way to their work site, we are getting some views of the Earth below as they do so. The International Space Station is currently flying 268 statute miles off the coast of Antarctica, off the southern tip of Africa. The International Space Station orbits the Earth every 90 minutes, and you can actually view it fly overhead. If you're interested in seeing where the International Space Station flies overhead near you, you can check out nasa.gov/spot-the-station or check out our app. You can see when the space station will be flying overhead and go outside and take a look for yourself.
Copy, Fram, forward, starboard, handrail for EV1.
Stay firm.
Jenny, I'm at the port CETA cart. I see my APFR.
Excellent. We see you there. That's the APFR in WIF 3. We'll have you retrieve it, stow it on your BRT.
Thank you.
EV1 has attached the large hook of the AET external to that crew lock bag to the forward starboard Fram handrail.
Nice work. Next step is to configure the MUT ball stack MUT on the CTC port handrail.
Copy that. And I realized I put it on the starboard port handrail. I'm switching over to the forward starboard handrail.
Houston copies.
And here you're seeing a split screen view of our two spacewalkers today. On the left, NASA astronaut Chris Williams' helmet camera. You can see that tool bag box item kind of in the center of the screen. That's his mini workstation, which we discussed before, carries the tools and tethers and all the equipment that he'll need for today's spacewalk. And on the right hand side of your screen there, you see NASA astronaut Jessica Meir's helmet camera.
Got the APFR on my BRT.
Copy, Jess. You can translate down to ESP2 via the lab strut and the gap spanner. We'll take a double press of the port Cedar brake release and poor man's fair lead on the lab.
And those communications confirming that NASA astronaut Jessica Meir retrieved the APFR. This is the Articulating Portable Foot Restraint, and is essentially a foot restraint that the crew members get into to be able to secure their legs in the microgravity environment of space and work during a spacewalk.
D1 is ready to the ball stack mutt and is releasing from screw lock bag, and I'm going to put it on the CTC.
That's a good readback, Chris. You will configure it such that the mutt is facing zenith and port to receive the spare joint later.
Copy, mutt, zenith, and port.
Good readback.
Okay, mutt ball stack mutt is locked, facing zenith and port.
Looks great. Thanks, Chris. Chris, with the speedy work you made of the mutt ball stack mutt, we will have you get a head start on attaching the mutt ball stack mutt ret to the spare joint MLI and getting a head start on releasing the MLI from the spare joint.
Copy that. We'll start getting attached to the spare joint MLI.
Good readback.
And I'm on the lab, Jenny. I'll do my poor man fair lead.
Copy.
And this view of NASA astronaut Chris Williams in the center of your screen. Again, he's going to be wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes today. He's EV1. He's been given the go from the ground to begin to remove MLI. MLI is multi-layer insulation and is used outside the International Space Station to protect a lot of items that are going to be exposed to vacuum for a longer period of time. So he's going to work to remove that MLI from the spare joint that is already outside the International Space Station, staged and ready to go. This spare joint will be installed on the Canadarm2 today as part of the spacewalk.
20 seconds to a short handover.
Copy.
As you can see on your screen, it's beginning to get a little bit darker for our crew members. Again, the International Space Station orbits the Earth every 90 minutes, so the crew sees a sunrise and a sunset every 45 minutes. We're in a brief handover between our satellites, but you are looking at a view inside Mission Control Houston at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. The team of flight controllers here on the ground is being led by NASA Flight Director Fiona Ankoviak. And today's ground IV, which is the prime voice that you hear communicating to our spacewalkers, is Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons. To her right is our Capcom, or capsule communicator, JAXA astronaut Aki Hoshide, who will be communicating with the crew that is back on board this space station.
Some warnings and cautions for you both.
V1 copies and ready to copy.
EV2.
All right, avoid electrical connectors, grounding tabs, and sensitive interfaces on the temp stow and primary FSE rings, and sensitive areas on the joints, SLE and CLA. We're also coming up on our EDF work, so avoid pulling too hard on the EDF lanyards and side-loading the EDFs.
One copies.
EV2.
For EV1, quick question on our RET choreography here. Right now, I still have a RET going from the crew lock bag to the mutt ball stack mutt. Is that one eventually coming down to the FSE?
A-firm, you can put that RET on the FSE.
Okay, in work.
Jenny, I see my four-man fairlead does seem to be staying in place.
Copy.
All right, Jessica, I see you coming down with your APFR. You're looking in a good configuration.
EV2. See where it sticks.
And Jess, can I verify, is your four-man fairlead staying in place, or did you report that it's not staying in place?
I reported that I saw that it was.
Okay, good news. Thanks, Jess. And while I have you, can you just confirm that you did the seat-a-cart brake release?
Actually, no, I did not. I guess I needed another reminder there. I did not do that brake release, so we'll keep that in mind for the way back.
That's fine. It was precautionary. We'll catch it on the backside. We'd like you to continue getting to the work site and getting the APFR ready.
See.
And on the left hand of your screen there, you are seeing NASA astronaut Chris Williams' helmet cam as he removes that MLI multi-layer
and getting the APFR ready.
See.
And on the left hand of your screen there, you are seeing NASA astronaut Chris Williams' helmet cam as he removes that MLI multi-layer
and getting the APFR ready.
See.
And on the left hand of your screen there, you are seeing NASA astronaut Chris Williams' helmet cam as he removes that MLI multi-layer
and getting the APFR ready.
See.
And on the left hand of your screen there, you are seeing NASA astronaut Chris Williams' helmet cam as he removes that MLI multi-layer. At this time, the work site is successfully set up and prepared for today's spacewalk. Williams did remove that MLI or multi-layer insulation from the spare joint. Next up, our spacewalking duo will work together to utilize the pistol grip tool, or PGT, to remove bolts on the spare joint fasteners. And this spare wrist joint will then be temporarily stowed while the duo makes its way over to the cannon arm 2 and does some work on the end effector.
Great. And Chris, we also see you getting in position to assist with that MLI, and then you'll be positioning for the joint drive bolt.
Copy.
You guys are doing great, making up good time. Just a reminder, our workspace is really tight today, so we're keeping a close eye and also want you to be wary of any sort of helmet or visor bumps in your workspace today.
Me too.
EV1 on the outside.
Copy.
And in this view, we do have a view of both of our crew members, our spacewalkers today. On the upper left portion of your screen is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. She's wearing the unmarked spacesuit. On the right is NASA astronaut Chris Williams wearing the suit with the red stripes.
I'm going to fix that. I took off a little piece of joint MLI.
Copy. It's hard when we make everything the same color.
Yep. Okay, that MLI that I unvelcroed is velcroed back down.
Copy. And again, you're looking for that joint drive bolt, and your first action will be to press the button and move the drive handle to EVA.
Okay, stand by. I'm going to get into a gear body position here.
Sounds great.
And Jessica Meir does have that MLI, that multi-layer insulation that was removed by Williams, now tethered to her. Williams is going to get the pistol grip tool configured to be able to release bolts from the spare wrist joint there that you see in the center of your screen. Eventually, this will be installed on the Cannon Arm 2 as part of today's spacewalk.
Copy, working on my BRT.
have the MLI bundled.
Nice work. That looks great to us, Jess. You can tend it above the CTC and take the square scoop from the mutt ball stack mutt. You'll be installing that on the spare joint, handle pointed aft, and you can leave the mutt jaws open.
Copy. That's not bundled quite as well as I would like, but I think it is out of the way. I think we can leave it where it is for now. I'll work on the scoop.
Copy, and we are happy with that MLI config. Thanks, Jess.
Right.
I've got a BRT down and rigidized, and I'm working my PGT.
Copy. Let me know when you're ready for settings.
Go.
Jenny, that's handle pointing aft, correct?
A-firm, handle pointing aft.
You may have heard the acronym BRT. That stands for Body Restraint Tether, and that is a way in which the crew members attach themselves to the International Space Station. The crew have a variety of different hooks and fasteners and tethers that they use to make sure that they are always securely attached to the space station or equipment aboard it.
And display is reset.
Good feedback. All right, Chris, we are ready for you to drive this joint drive bolt. This will be 225 turns. We will back you up with timing from the ground. It'll be about 4.5 minutes. Let us know when you start.
Copy that. I am ready to start turns. Jessica, I'm starting turns now.
Okay, copy.
And Jess, when you are able, we will take a visual check on the direction of the joint drive. We're looking for counterclockwise from your perspective.
And this view from NASA astronaut Chris Williams' helmet cam as he utilizes the pistol grip tool to release those bolts on the spare joint on the International Space Station that will be installed on the Canadarm2.
Turns.
And from our external cameras, we are actually able to verify good motion. So Jess, we no longer need that check from you, and we are comfortable waiting for the scoop install until after the bolt if needed.
Okay, yeah, I can confirm that motion right now as well, moving counterclockwise from my perspective.
Excellent.
I am going to pause with the scoop because I don't have anywhere to put my right hand, and it would basically, my right hand would be near the mechanism that's turning. So I'm going to wait with the scoop.
That sounds great to us, Jess. We're learning a lot about this work site today, so no problem.
I can say that I can give a very good inspection right now of the spare. On this side, I see all good connectors. I don't see any fraud. I don't see anything off nominal.
Good news. Thank you.
Turning much more slowly than I anticipated.
And Williams continuing to drive those bolts. As the ground stated, this will take about 4.5 minutes. Doesn't always take this long to drive bolts during spacewalks, but this is a particularly long bolt.
Okay, I have a scoop in my hand. Let's see if I can temp stow that somewhere.
Yeah, and we can have you wait too, Jess. That's totally fine. We're over halfway through this bolt.
Okay.
$200. Firm 225.
Copy, 225 turns.
All right, we got 225 turns.
Copy. Good turn count. Thanks so much, Chris. You can stow the PGT.
And I can read it. I can see, wow, Chris. I can report negative 69 degrees on the dial. Looks exactly right.
Great news. Wonderful eyesight. We love it.
And Chris, I have a scoop in my hand, and maybe we can work together to put it on this side because I don't have anything to hold on to.
Yep. Stand by with one. Let me just volunteer put this joint drive bolt back to motor before I forget.
Copy.
A-firm, that is your next step. Back to motor.
Joint drive is in motor, and the buttons popped up.
Copy. Good config. You can assist with the scoop.
Copy.
Some happy reports from the team here on the ground following those 225 drives by the pistol grip tool done by NASA astronaut Chris Williams. So you can see on your screen there helmet cams from both of our spacewalkers today as they work together to help get this spare joint removed.
I think it should be a lot easier from that side. That's the correct orientation. And I will start looking at the ATFR. So Jenny, first I'm going to move Chris's from 5 to 4.
A-firm, but we do have a step to move the scoop ret to the starboard fram handrail. I want to make sure that you can do that as well.
Okay, copy.
Okay, scoop is on and locked. The handle pointing aft.
Okay, well done. I will grab the other end and get the tether on the starboard handrail.
Copy. Let me.
And the jaws ended up closing, so I will reopen them.
Copy. I'm release the ret from the scoop.
Oh, no, leave the ret.
Firm.
Okay,
I'm going to release this end.
Sorry, yep.
Yes, this is the intent of this is that it is the tether for the spare once we remove it, so we are just tethering it to the fram.
Copy. Yep.
Okay, it is tethered to the fram handrail. I think one of the things we might want to consider is, well, I guess the crew lock bag will be gone. Having the crew lock bag right here has made it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be gone when we're back here.
I concur with that. It is kind of in the way, but we'll, yeah.
All right, Houston copies all. We concur. It should be out of the way soon.
I'm going to check on this muck because
And if you're just joining us this morning, welcome. We are continuing to cover the 280th spacewalk outside the International Space Station. We're 47 minutes into today's spacewalk. Today's spacewalk is expected to last about 6 hours and 40 minutes. Our spacewalkers today are two NASA astronauts, Chris Williams, who's completing the second spacewalk of his career, and Jessica Meir, who is completing her fifth.
Bravo 7. And I'm looking at the access to the mutts. I think I can get, we were worried about access to number 1, I think, right? But I think there's plenty of clearance.
That's a great report. Thank you. And yes, we were concerned with the wobble.
Can you verify with the orientation of the scoop right now?
Yeah, I might need to do a different body position. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jess.
For the jaws of the butt, to look, is this the orientation you were expecting?
Stand by. Oh, sorry, I can't quite see.
Yeah, I think this makes sense for how the scoop is. This is going to be able to attach to the scoop handle. The only problem is you might want to put the ret on the other side of the scoop. So take a look. Jaws are going to close around the starboard side, and the ret is there.
Let me do that. The scoop is locked, so I can do that. Concur?
Concur.
Houston's following along.
This MDSU is rather inconvenient.
Yeah. Well, notes on the worksite, Jenny. For me, like positioning that scoop, the one thing that would be good to hold on to the body position is that other temp stow ring that has the sharp edge concerns. So, and then the bag is right there as well. So I think it works really well to have Chris get the scoop from the aft side.
All right, I copy the report, Jess. We do believe you could hold on to the edge of that spare ring, just not the grounding tabs. Those are the sharp edge concern locations.
Okay, copy, that's good to know. And I can see those grounding tabs.
Copy.
The main task of today's spacewalk is to replace joint number 5 of the wrist joint on the Canadarm2, which malfunctioned during May 27th normal operations. An elevated motor current was experienced and the arm did not move as expected. There is a spare joint on board the International Space Station that Meir and Williams are working to release as we speak that will be installed into the Canadarm2 today.
Bravo 7 counter 2 is set.
Good readback. You can start releasing EDFs. We suggest you start with EDF 5. This will be 5.5 turns.
Copy. EDF 5, 5.5 turns. I see it, and I'm briefing and getting that in work.
Copy.
Have a ret on the APSR.
Copy. And a reminder, this is the potential sticky locking collar APFR. We're well equipped to handle that should it come up.
And Williams now going to use the pistol grip tool in order to further release the spare joint on board the space station.
Great news. Thanks, Jess.
I am starting turns on EDF 5.
Copy.
That's 5.5 turns on EDF and started pulling out when I took the PGT off. That's a good sign.
Copy. 5.5 turns on EDF 5, and it started pulling out. Confirm you can pull it all the way out with the lanyard.
lanyard's a little bit twisted. Let me see if I can get my hand in there. EDF 5 is fully extracted. All of the retaining tethers are good. Looks like the bolt at the top did come a little bit loose, though.
Okay, we copy, and it does look like it's popped out to us, so that's a good config.
And Jenny, a clocking of 9, correct?
And with that first fastener successfully removed, Williams is now going to work on removing the remaining 5 on the spare joint.
Is the stickiness of... Okay,
Or 1. Go ahead, Jess.
The EDF 6.
I have a black on black and a good tool test, but I'm not passing the phone port twist.
Copy.
I'm starting turns on EDF 6.
Houston copies.
This sticky locking collar, I can see that I'm in... I think what's happening is it's not going to black on black.
All right, we copy.
And now that I'm in the whiff, it's not running all the way to...
And Jess, we just want to make sure that there's no interference as you're installing this with structure.
Okay,
so potentially you could deploy the ingress aid. We think that that might have been preventing a good install. The locking collar might be a separate issue.
I'm watching the ingress aid. I can see it's coming close to ESP2, but it's not impacting. And I actually got it now. I have black on black, clocking of 9, and a good pull twist test.
Okay, excellent. Your other settings are Fox Fox Charlie 6.
Fox Charlie 6.
Good readback.
And EV1 can confirm that EDF 6 is extracted.
Copy, EDF 6.
And same thing on EDF 6. It does look like that nut at the end. It does look like that nut at the end unthreaded a little bit.
All right, we copy. Not a concern, but EDF 6 is extracted. You can move on to EDF 1.
Copy EDF 1 in order.
Williams continuing to make good progress in removing the fasteners from the spare joint outside the International Space Station.
And Jenny, I've increased my cooling to 7 for the time being. So I think with this one, I know that we thought it had the collar. I think it's actually the pitch knob, my old nemesis, that is very sticky. You can see that it is locked. Now I can push it in, but I'm unable to turn it. Oh, wait, there it goes. It's turning.
We copy.
And meanwhile, Jessica Meir is working to remove the articulating portable foot restraint from the worksite interface structure on board the International Space Station and get that installed, where she will be utilizing it today.
And the pitch knob is locked, can be depressed. Did you, let's see, that was Charlie and 6, correct?
Affirm, Fox Fox Charlie 6, and copy, good check on the pitch knob.
And we're starting to come up into a sun pass of the International Space Station, which orbits the Earth every 90 minutes. So we'll see a sunset and sunrise every 45 minutes throughout the duration of our spacewalk today.
With my BRT down here.
Okay, we copy. That was the one that we thought might be a more challenging reach with the wobble, too.
Yeah, if you had the shorter one, I think it would have been doable. Let me see. One last try.
Hey, good data. Thank you, Chris.
I have Charlie 6 as well.
Copy. Those are good settings. We are ready for you to reconfigure the port APFR. We're looking for Fox Fox Lima 6.
Copy.
I'm going to try Bravo 7 counter 2 on EDF 6.
Good settings.
Or 1, sorry.
And that should be EDF 1, Affirm.
Five and a half turns.
Copy 5.
Jenny, I see that this handrail that I was planning on using for a lot of actions, which is just on the front face of ESP2, just starboard of my ATFR, does have a handrail clamp on it. So does that mean I cannot waist tether to it?
Good question, Jess. You can use that as a local tether point. Obviously, we don't want that to be your prime load path, but it's legal for a local.
Copy, legal for local. And also for BIT?
Affirm.
Copy.
Okay, Jenny, I've got those 3 EDFs, 6, 5, and 1 released and pulled out.
Copy 6, 5, and 1 released and pulled out. And Chris, next steps for you are, as written, to maintain control of the joint for Jess's bolts to be released. But since you have a little extra time here, if you can reach EDF 4, that's the one under the scoop, we would also like you to attempt to release that one.
And we are getting some really great views of our spacewalkers today now that we are back in a day pass. NASA astronaut Chris Williams is wearing that spacesuit with the red stripes on the top of your screen, and NASA astronaut Jessica Meir is on the bottom left of your screen. You can just see her legs and feet there, but she is wearing the unmarked spacesuit today. In the center of your screen is the spare joint that our duo is working to remove from its temporary stowage location and get it in a configuration to eventually be able to install later today on the Canadarm2. We've just surpassed the 1 hour mark in today's spacewalk. The crew is continuing to make good progress and is running about 20 minutes or so ahead of the timeline. Today's spacewalk did begin at 7:20 a.m. Central Time, so we are 1 hour, 1 minute, and 30 seconds into the 280th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
5.5 turns on DF4.
Copy, 5.5 turns, EDF4. I see you stowing your PGT, Chris. We'll also take a confirmation that the lanyard can be pulled out.
Yep, stand by. I need to, I think, get down there a little bit more to get in position for that.
Copy.
And NASA astronaut Chris Williams is working to stow that PGT or pistol grip tool for now, but it won't be the last that we see of it today, certainly. It will come into play quite a bit during today's spacewalk. Also in view just above his head there is the mini workstation, which has a variety of tools and tethers and items that will be utilized during today's spacewalk.
After 5.5 turns. Came out a little bit, but not the whole way.
Copy, we're talking it. Chris, we would like you to try jiggling this EDF as you're pulling it out. If that does not work, we will move to doing an additional 2 turns.
Copy. Let me, if I can get a better position here.
And Williams continuing to work through steps to release that spare wrist joint.
Yeah, the scoop is kind of in the way for me to get a good hand on it.
Mm-hmm. All right, my APFR is set in Lima 6.
Copy. Good APFR settings. Thanks, you two. Now we will get Jess to reposition for releasing EDF 2, and the last EDF we'd planned for is EDF 3. So after EDF 2, let's just take a pause and make sure that Chris can maintain control of the spare joints. And I have consumables updates when you're ready.
EV1 copies all and ready.
EV2 copies, just one point. I'm in a good position right now for bolt 2. Since it's more port, I think I'm going to need to stay here more port, which means after the bolt, Chris, I could reposition a little bit to help you guide it in.
Copy.
That make sense to you?
Does.
I can, yeah.
And Houston's fine with that plan.
And if you've been following along, Williams has released several of the fasteners that are securing the spare joint to the structure outside the space station. And now Jessica Meir is going to work to release the remaining fasteners.
You're both doing a great job. The limiting consumable is EV1 MEDOX at 7 hours, and you're around 20 minutes ahead of the timeline. But I think a lot of the dev you guys have done in the past hour will really pay dividends for the rest of the EVA. Great work.
EV1 copies.
EV2.
Jess, this PGT setting will include Bravo 7, so we'd like you to brace appropriately. Let me know when you're ready for those settings.
Okay, and I'll give you a cow first.
And outside of Jessica Meir's helmet camera on the right hand of the screen, we are seeing a view of the Earth below. The International Space Station orbits the Earth every single 90 minutes and is currently beginning a pass into the United States. It's just flying over the Pacific Ocean now, but soon will be passing along the coast of Olympia, Washington, and will be flying over the entire United States, essentially, including directly over Houston, Texas, here in just a couple of minutes. We'll let you know when we're overhead in Houston, but as of right now, the International Space Station is just currently over Olympia, Washington, and so here shortly, just a couple minutes from now, it will be over Houston. That's how fast the space station flies, 17,500 miles per hour. If you want to see when you can spot the International Space Station flying overhead, you can check out our app, Spot the Station, as well as our website, and you can enter in your location where you live and see when the International Space Station will fly overhead. And this view from inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the Orbit 2 team is being led by NASA Flight Director Fiona Enkoviak. Here in Mission Control Houston, there are a variety of console positions that are staffed to maintain the International Space Station and its systems, including during today's spacewalk. Today's spacewalk is the 280th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
After the handover, and we can confirm Bravo 7, counter 2.
Bravo 7, counter 2 is set, and I'm looking for 5.5 turns.
Affirm, and we have it down that this is EDF 2.
I am on EDF 2.
Copy.
Okay, I'm starting turns.
And as we regain some views and communications with the crew on board the space station, or outside the space station, rather, as they complete today's spacewalk, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir is completing the 5th spacewalk of her career, and she is currently working to remove some fasteners holding the spare joint for the Canadarm2 to the International Space Station that will be installed later on during today's spacewalk.
It's all the way out.
We see a great view of that. All right, we have one EDF left. We are tracking that is EDF 3. So we would like Chris to maintain control of the spare joint and give Jess a go to release EDF 3 when she is in position. Let me know when you're ready for one caution.
Chris is ready, and I have a hand on the scoop. I have control.
So I'm going to switch to the other handrail for this.
Copy.
Houston copies.
And this view of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir in the unmarked spacesuit on the lower portion of your screen as she works to remove that final fastener securing the spare joint to the space station. Above her is NASA astronaut Chris Williams in the spacesuit with the red stripes. He's serving as EV1, or extravehicular member 1, and Jessica Meir is serving as EV2 during today's spacewalk.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thinking.
Yep, I love it.
All right, Chris.
I've got control.
Copy.
Before you start turns, caution, minimize loads into the joint or mutt ball stack mutt on the CTC handrail.
On, EV2. Hey, Chris, I'm starting turns.
Houston copies.
.5 turns. It looks as if it's loose. There's some space between the washers, but it is not pulling out.
Yeah, I have that same
Oh, there
thing.
it comes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming.
All right.
I think since it's the last one, it's a little bit side-loaded.
Yep.
I can see it moving.
Okay. I'm going to...
Does it look all the way out?
I can't see it. It looks like it looks all the way out.
I think it is as well. Okay, wait, before you pull it out, I'd like to fill my PGTs.
Yep.
Houston's following along. Looks like
I'm guessing I may need a little...
good EDF. We'll verify all of them are still extracted before you release that joint, and then you can work together to move it out of stock and stow it on the mutt ball stack mutt.
I can't see number 1, but I can see 5 and 6 are fully extracted.
And as our crew members continue to work on removing that last fastener securing the Canadarm2 to the International Space Station, here is a view of the arm where the wrist joint will be repaired during today's spacewalk. As we mentioned, the International Space Station a few minutes ago was entering the United States. It's now currently flying over Amarillo, Texas at 17,500 miles an hour, so getting a view of the state of Texas below the Canadarm2. Here in just a couple of minutes, the International Space Station will be flying directly overhead in Houston. So if you're in Houston, if you're on your commute to work, make sure you give the space station and its crew members a little wave.
All right, I got it out. Okay, this rest is kind of in the way.
Yeah. No matter what side it's on, it's kind of in the way there.
Okay, come on.
You can move it a little bit in any direction if you like.
Yeah, can you pitch it? So right now it's angled a little bit too far down.
Okay.
Can you pitch that? Yep, keep going a little bit more. Trying to get it flush in the mutt jaws. And back up.
And on your screen here, we can see the spare joint is making its way loose. The crew members are making sure to keep it nice and secure as they do so.
Use the tether point to kind of wiggle it a little bit to get these paddles out.
I can't hold on to anything except for like the edge of the front face here. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think these paddles are not popping out. You just make sure. Okay. We got jaws closed, paddles out, and nope, not quite.
Yeah, those
There we go. Jaws closed, paddles out, and locked.
Yeah, I see it.
Copy. That is a great config. Good work, you two. The joint now should be tethered to ESP2. We will have you reposition the ball stack so that the joint is facing forward. This is for reach once you are ingress to the APFR, Chris.
Copy.
Copy, Chris, and I'm going to keep a hand on it to keep it away from me. Just obviously you can see for us to be watching are the two wrecks.
Yep, I see them.
They could easily get caught like in the EDF and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of see one of them. I don't know if you can see that closer when it looks like it's underneath the MOI.
I think it's okay where it is.
Okay.
Just to watch, when we get it off.
Okay. I think that's a good position. It's about as far forward as I can get it.
I think that looks like a good position to me.
Okay. Let me try to see a little bit more. Well, I get as much reach as I can.
Yeah.
I think that's about what we got. Vectors all look good from here. I got a great view of them.
All right, nice work, you two. We agree that is a good config and a good position of the spare joint. I will take a glove inspection and HAP check from you both while we prepare to ingress the APFRs.
The BV1 has a good dry HAP.
And we do have confirmation that that spare joint was removed and stowed as expected temporarily while the crew continues the procedures in order to remove the old joint and eventually swap it with the spare joint. At this time, the crew is completing those buddy checks, the glove and HAP checks, ensuring that their HAP is dry, their gloves are looking good, all their tethers are as they should be, and their mini workstations have the items that they're tracking in them. Following this, the crew will get into their APFR, or Articulating Portable Foot Restraint, one of which NASA astronaut Jessica Meir removed from another location and brought over to be utilized during the next portion of the spacewalk. The APFR is utilized quite often during spacewalks as it helps provide some traction and hold for the spacewalkers for their legs. Of course, in the microgravity environment of the International Space Station and the surrounding vicinity, things float, so it helps to have your feet secured to give you a little bit of traction to be able to complete your work, especially during a spacewalk.
I have my BRT on it. I'll get it on my BRT.
Copy, Jess.
Okay, I'm getting back to the forward side, picking up my local.
Copy. I have cautions for both of you. Let me know when ready.
And a great view now of our spacewalking duo and the Canadarm2, which will have that spare rejoint swapped out on it today.
So one at a time, with ingress aids only. No impulse or cyclic loading into the arm, please, and confirm that there is no motion before you do load the arm.
The International Space Station is currently flying 260 statute miles over the Caribbean Sea.
I've got the pre-lock ride on my BRT, and I'll get ready to get into position for ingress.
Copy.
Next up for our spacewalkers is some preparation for the Lee cluster remover. The Lee is the latching end effector and is similar to the hands of the Canadarm2, and that Lee cluster does need to be removed in order to get access to the area where the joint is going to be replaced. It is joint number 5 that the crew is going to be removing and swapping out today.
We suggest that you put a waist tether down on the CTC so that you can control your role in the APFR later on. And we also want to let you know we had to power off your HECA for a couple of minutes for thermal reasons.
Copy that. And I'm working on my left waist tether on the CTC.
Copy.
Interesting, Journey. I didn't expect the pump module to be sticking out so far. It actually, the front lip of it actually extends over my yaw pedal.
Copy.
This shouldn't be a problem, just you know what I see. And Chris, I'm going to start ingressing.
Copy, starting to ingress.
Copy. We see it.
Okay.
All right, so fin heels locked.
Looks good.
Nice work, Jess. You can verify your ingress 8 is tucked in.
Left foot fin heels locked, and my ingress 8 is tucked.
I gotta watch that.
My thought, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at this. In this vertical position, I'm not going to be able to get my PGT out right against this MBSU.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The pump module, yeah.
All right, that's the module.
Yeah, I think you need to take that out. Reverse.
Yeah, I will get my right. I'm going to take my right foot out and see if I can lean over enough. Because I can't, I have nothing to roll against either right now.
Yeah, you might be able to yaw your way, like if you yaw to your right, you might be able to make space.
You think I can reach my yaw pedal? It's under the lip of that's also under the lip of the pump module. You see that?
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, you're like right up against that pump module.
That's not what I
Yep, you're on the yaw pedal right now. If you push your...
I'm going to actually just try to do this.
Yep, you're clear of it. You're clear. Yep. It's out. It's forward. All right, I'm going to ingress.
Houston's following along. Great problem solving, you two. With the PGT out, Jess, you will be stowing that on the crew lock bag and also performing a socket swap. So putting the rigid socket from the PGT to the ERAD from the crew lock bag with a pull twist.
Easy, 2 copies, yeah. So basically what I did, Jenny, I was able to take 1 foot out, lean over, get the PGT in front of me, and now both feet are back in and locked.
Nice work.
And we said, and we're going to start working on the ERAD, correct?
A-firm, you are going to swap the rigid socket from your PGT to the ERAD.
Okay, if you can give me a double check, Jess, I think I'm in.
You're looking, I can't quite see your heels.
I feel in.
Looks like they're in, yep.
All right, I'm in.
Good job.
Looks great, Chris. Check the ingress 8 is
Ingress
tucked
8
in.
is tucked.
You got the check. Thank you.
Ingress 8 tucked for ED1.
Okay, you can verify your reach to the spare joint.
Yeah. So I can see it.
I can see it too.
Let me see. I think I have to.
I can definitely feel the SC2 moving when you move.
Yeah, I just need to take a foot out, I think. So if I take a foot out, I can get a finger on the tether point of it. Did I put a hook on that tether point?
Copy. And Chris, you will be rolling your APFR 1 position closer to vertical, which is Bravo. Right now you're in Charlie, so you're in the forwardmost roll position. So that will also help with your reach. But that's great for us to know. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to put my foot back in. All right, I'm back in and tucked.
Copy.
I have the 2-inch on my PGT on my pit pin. Before I fully remove it, I'm going to get the ERAD out.
Copy.
And this view of NASA astronaut Chris Williams as he does a little bit of in-space photography of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, who is continuing to get things in a good configuration on her mini workstation.
You are ready. You can give your robo support today. So Jack and Sophie, a go for the R&R position. No issue if you want to wait until the socket swap and bag ops are complete for Jess.
You think, Jeff?
I think it might be better to wait because to see how well I have the crew lock bag.
I concur. I think it's kind of could flop out, and the arm's going to be pretty close to us.
Sounds great to us.
AM1 copies. We are standing by.
And in this view, you can see that Williams is in that APFR, that articulating portable foot restraint that we referenced earlier, that gives him a little leverage and gets his feet in a good spot for him to be able to do the next portion of the spacewalk, which will include a little help from inside the International Space Station, where European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adeneau will be primed to move the Canadarm to a bit closer to Williams and Meir so that they have good access to it for the removal of the joint that they are replacing today and the eventual swap out of that. So at this time, we're standing by for the crew outside the International Space Station, our spacewalkers Williams and Meir, to give the go to Adeneau to begin that arm motion from inside the International Space Station. A second of downtime for our crew while they make sure they're in a good config for that. The International Space Station currently flying 260 miles over Brazil.
Yeah, do you want to put it on the handle?
Exactly.
Copy. Good pull test. We'll also have you stow your PGT with the ERAD on the crew lock bag. Let me know if you want words on tethering.
Okay, that's right. It's the ret that was on the mutt.
Affirm, it is the external small ret. It was on the mutt ball stack mutt.
Okay, I don't see.
I think we must have taken that off. When you've deployed the mutt, detach that one. That one was supposed to stay.
Okay,
Yeah, because right now we have I see one ret is going from the mutt to the, that was supposed to be the one that stayed on the bag.
okay, sorry, I thought I asked you about that one, and, okay. All right, well, let's,
So what about the ret that I just used that has the ERAD, the pit pin ret
yeah.
coming out of the bag? There's also the integral ret that's on the outside of the bag.
Houston's preference is the pit pin ret.
Copy.
All right.
And if you're just joining us this morning, we're continuing to bring you live coverage of the 280th spacewalk outside the International Space Station. We are now 1 hour and 30 minutes into today's spacewalk, where NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams are working to repair and swap out a joint on the Canadarm2. That spare joint that was outside the International Space Station has successfully been removed at this point and has put in a temporary stow location. The crew is now in their articulating portable foot restraints and getting everything set up ahead of the movement of the Canadarm2 from inside the International Space Station that will take place by European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adeneau.
Yeah, and affirm, we do want it on a ret so that it reaches between you two when you're doing your operations at the arm, but you can, of course, put the tethered end of that ret on the adjustable D-ring if you want.
Okay, that makes sense. Right now I have, Chris, I have the tethered, and so I have it on the handrail, the pit pin side, so I'm going to detach the other side, and I'm going to use the other side on my PG.
Hit and copy and concur.
And conveniently, it looks like it's one of the ones that's really close to the top, so this won't be too bad.
Sounds like we're headed to a good config.
Getting good views from both of the crew members' helmet cams here, respectively, of one another, both in their articulating portable foot restraint. Williams is wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes. You can see him there on the left of your screen. And Jessica Meir is wearing the unmarked spacesuit on the right-hand side of your screen.
Jenny, just a reminder, I'm putting the hook that I released from my end, that goes down to my swing arm, on my right bunny ear, in case I need a reminder on that.
Copy. We'll track that. Thank you.
Okay, that looks like a good config. I see it.
Houston agrees, and we are ready for you to work with Sophie and Jack for the R&R position.
Okay, Jessica, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Sophie and Jack, this is your EV team. We are ready for you to GCA the arm into position. Our ingress aids are clear, and our tethers and tools are tucked in and clear.
EV from M1, we copy. Give us a minute to prepare the maneuver.
He copies.
And with that, we did get the confirmation that everything is looking good from the outside of the International Space Station to begin that arm movement by the Canadarm2. This will help get the arm in a place where both of the crew members can access it a little more easily. As you can see, they're in their APFR, those articulating portable foot restraints, so a bit easier to bring the arm to them so that they can have that nice grip. And as you can see here, no bad days when you're outside the International Space Station doing a spacewalk. Williams getting some great photography in while they have a bit of a down moment awaiting this arm movement.
EV from M1, we are ready for the motion of the arm.
He copies. We have good visuals of the arm and good visuals of arm clearance. You are go to start motion.
Go to start motion, and we'll let you check the clearance of the please.
Yep, just watch your
And you can see the Canadarm2 beginning to come a little bit closer there on the top of your screen there. That, again, is being controlled from inside the International Space Station by European Space Agency Sophie Adeno. NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway is also helping to support those maneuvers.
I'm watching the clearance here for the spare joint as well. That might get a little bit close.
We're a third of the way.
Copy.
I have a good view of that, Chris.
Copy.
The arm continuing to be inched in slowly but surely by Adeno.
Almost there.
Copy.
Slowing down.
Copy. You have good clearance.
Copy. From M1, we are at the published R&R position. Brakes are on. You are go to verify and assess the reach.
The copies, brakes are on, and we are going to do a reach assessment.
82 copies. I can tell you that this is well out of my work envelope for reaching the joint on scoop 7. It's like several feet above my head.
Yeah.
I can reach the scoop on joint 6, and I actually think I could reach all of the EDFs on joint 6 from this position, and possibly the mate demate with the ERAD, but I'll have to put a bolt on there to actually see because I can't see it.
Copy that. Yeah, I have a good access to the scoops on 5 and 6. 7, I will need to roll to reach. That's a little bit out of my envelope. I might be able to if I stick a foot out. think the EDF number 3 on joint 6 is going to be hard for me to get with the 6-inch, so I might need the ERAD for that. I think the other ones, I can get all of them from this position.
Okay, so...
And following some excellent maneuvering of the cannon arm 2 by Adeno, we now see the arm is positioned perfectly between our two spacewalkers, NASA astronauts Chris Williams and Jessica Meir, to gain access to that joint in order to swap it out with the spare joint they've since removed from the International Space Station, now 1 hour and 37 minutes into the 280th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
You know how the arm is like canted towards you?
Towards me, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's going to make it difficult reach because I'll be getting close, you know, like Jenny had said, to joint 6.
Yeah.
I can lower my workstation so that that's not in the way. But I mean, if you can, I can show you where the scoop is. Look at where. Can you see where my ERAD is?
I can see your ERAD. Yeah, I can see that.
It's at the tip of my ERAD up here.
The other thing we can do that might be helpful, this will make it harder for me to reach ERAD, or sorry, number 5 on joint 6, but we can come a little bit towards you also.
I don't think you can come toward me very much because of joint 6, because of that angle. Like I'm actually only a foot away from joint 6 right now.
Okay, copy.
Because it's canted again, you know, toward me and away from you.
All right. Well, why don't we bring it down 30 centimeters and see where that puts us? Do you think we need to do significantly more?
Let's start with that, and we can assess.
Okay. Zach and Sophie from ED, we are going to go for a GCA. We're going to be looking for 30 centimeters station nadir.
And as we look at this view here, on the left of your screen, we have NASA astronaut Chris Williams. Just below him, on the lower right of your screen, is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. Almost dead center in the screen from this view is joint number 5, which is the joint that is going to be swapped out by our spacewalkers today. So the duo is working alongside the ground team to ensure that they have the best possible positioning to access this joint in order to remove it and swap it out with the replacement joint, which you can see floating just behind Williams there, behind his arm, slightly to the left of the joint number 5.
From M1, we are ready for the motion. Are you?
M1, ready for motion. Go to start motion.
Okay, go to start motion. Starting motion.
I see motion, and it's good motion.
Copy, good motion.
And Adeno now moving the cannon arm slightly to better position it for access for the swap out of joint number 5.
Ramping out.
Copy, ramping out.
Still a bit high, but maybe if I take a foot out, I think I might be able to just reach it.
Okay.
But I also want to make sure, you know, that's what I'm going to be holding on to.
Yeah, that you can get a good...
So I'm thinking about how it looked in the pool, and you know, I think it was still further nadir than this. It's going to, of course, start making things more difficult for the EDF and the mate.
Stevie from M1, we did the motion of 20 centimeters. We could give you a little less than 10 more.
Yeah, we can do. You want 10 more, Jessica?
Yes.
Yep. Let's continue 10 more centimeters.
Copy. Starting motion for 10 more centimeters. Station NITR.
Copy.
A bit more adjustment of the arm in order to get it into just the right place to ensure that both crew members have access to all the points that they will need to swap out that joint.
Up there.
All right, ramp out.
Ramping out.
I think that will do it. I'm gonna have to, actually try to touch some things here and see how it goes.
Yep, I think this will work for me as well. I may need the ERAD for number 6 on joint 5, but we'll see how it goes.
Copy. I'm just gonna adjust my TCB.
Okay. Yep. So we're ready for brakes and to do a reach eval. M1.
Copy. Stand by 1. So right now we have the brakes on, and we need a couple more steps. We call it GCA complete.
Yeah, GCA complete for now. We're going to do a reach eval, and we'll see what we can do.
Copy. Then assessing your reach.
Houston, EV2 is at a TCB setting of 2.5.
Houston copies.
And Houston, EV1, TCB of 3.
Houston copies.
And before the Canadarm2 is powered down for the swap out of the wrist joint, Williams and Meir are going to go ahead and make sure that from every angle that they need to access, that they have the proper reach in order to do so for that swap out.
I just want to remind you about the scoop install. Hopefully the new positioning of the arm, a little more nadir, helps you access that joint 7 micro square while keeping the 6 EDFs in your reach chest. But we are ready for the scoop install as you're doing this assessment or after.
EV copies. And M1, just to confirm, brakes are on. We're good for reach assessment.
Yeah, confirmed. Brakes are on, but the arm is not saved. But first, the initial assessment of your reach, yes, you are go. Brakes are on.
EV copies. Do you want to go ahead first, Jessica, and get some hands-on?
Yeah, I can touch EDF1. On joint 6, I'm talking now. I can touch EDF1 and EDF2, and also EDF6. Definitely the limit of my EDF.
Okay. And I can touch the EDFs 5, 4, and 3 on joint 6. And I can touch 2, 1, and 6 on joint 5. And I have a good reach to all of my microsquares.
Copy. The joint 7 microsquare is still a little bit out of my reach, but I think I'm going to be able to get to it, especially if I take a foot out.
Okay.
And mate, G-mate, I cannot. Can you see it?
Yeah. I can not. But if I took a foot out, I might be able to.
Because right now, I have no eyes on it. I know where it is, and so I think that with the ERAD, it's going to be around here, right, Chris?
Yep, I'm seeing if I can get eyes with my mirror on it. But I am struggling to see it.
If you're just joining us this morning, we are 1 hour and 45 minutes into today's spacewalk outside the International Space Station, the 280th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. Thus far, our spacewalkers, NASA astronaut Chris Williams and Jessica Meir, have successfully removed the spare joint from its location on board the International Space Station and have temporarily stowed it.
Forward position.
Additionally, the Canadarm2 has been maneuvered into place by European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adenau from inside the International Space Station. Now, Williams and Meir are working to confirm that they have access to all the proper areas that they will need to begin the removal of the joint that is no longer working as expected, ahead of swapping it out with the new joint.
Yeah, I'm not able to see it. It's a little too angled away from me.
Okay, is it pointing, like, do we expect it to be pointing more toward me? It should be, actually, because since the whole joint 6 is canted this way, it should be also. Yeah, I think from the other position, so I think it would be a good idea for me to get the scoops on, and then that was the idea, Jenny, before, but weren't we also going to assess my reach for joint 5? I actually am not that worried about my reach for the EDFs in joint 5.
Yeah, Jess, we
I think it's going to be
are
fine,
comfortable with the reach assessment that we've heard so far, and we agree that the joint demate bolts will be more accessible for the other position. We would like you to install the scoops now, please.
Okay, copy.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, the angle of the joint test is just such that I can't even get eyes on the mate demate with my mirror.
Copy.
I can see the mate demate on joint 5 with my mirror, and I can see the indicator.
Hey, Jenny, I know that we talked about the scoop on joint 7. It's going to be handle nadir.
Affirm.
And as the International Space Station begins to start into a night pass, you can see behind NASA astronaut Chris Williams there the separation from light to dark. We call that the Terminator line. And just behind him is a little bit of the full moon.
Scooped out. They're still redded.
Copy.
I'm going to put the one on joint 6 first because I think it might help me get the one on joint 7.
Okay, that sounds great to us. Keep in mind that we had planned for this handle to be pointing aft in zenith, so toward the lee, but this is the one where you thought a different position might work better.
Yeah, I was going to try aft zenith first, but I think that the bayonet fitting interferes with the box. It's not going to let me do that, I don't think. Now I have it directly zenith. The bayonet fitting is actually on top of the box. Which part I mean, where the little radiator box is. It's not on top of the radiated material, but just the MLI. I'm not sure it's going to fully install in this position.
Okay, we copy.
Yeah, I think I might have the same issue on mine.
I think I might have to go zenith forward. Or, like I had said, back and capture. I think zenith is going to be easier for reach. It'll have to be zenith forward to not interfere.
We copy. And Jess, we are good with that position. If you are, we are 20 seconds from a short handover, and once install on scoop 6 is complete, you can move to joint 7, handle nadir.
Yeah, I think that it's the best option because of the bayonet fitting. I can't go either directly zenith or aft zenith. That is.
And you did hear those communications about a handover. That refers to a brief time period where we do not have either communication or visuals or both with the crew members. This happens when we have handover between our satellites, but is typically pretty brief. Here inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, the team of Orbit 2 flight directors is being led by NASA Flight Director Fiona Ankoviak.
Pointing out a little bit purposely because it keeps getting stuck under my T-bar.
Me too. I've been having the same issue, so I'm doing the same thing with ingress aid slightly out.
Houston's back with you after the handover.
He copies.
And there in the center of your screen, there is our ground IV, who is the lead for communicating with our spacewalkers today. You may recognize her voice from the Artemis 2 mission. That is Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons, who played a key role during the Artemis 2 mission and is playing a key role again today during today's spacewalk, the 280th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. We're approaching the 2-hour mark into today's spacewalk. This is the second spacewalk for Williams and the 5th for Meir.
That is on there and locked. I've got both scoops on. And remind me of the rep plan. These scoops, Jenny.
The RET plan is you can leave the AET tethered to the scoops.
Okay, and I'll remove the RET to the bag.
A-firm. You'll be removing the RET to the bag. After you do that, you can hand off the whole crew lock bag or just the scoops to Chris. Chris will be installing his scoops and also stowing the crew lock bag on the boom tether point.
And Chris, do we want to leave these out on the handle as well?
That's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
So let me check this. Rep to the PGT is not, it's blocked out right now, so let's get this in a better config for you.
You think under or over is better path?
Stand back. I think over.
Yep.
Right now I have my BRT right on it, and it's on this end of the handrail.
Copy that.
And get it off my BRT. Okay, coming over to you.
Copy.
Wait, stand by one.
Still don't have a handle.
Okay, don't pull yet because I have one more hook to remove.
Copy. Got a hand on the integral strap on the side of it.
Okay, I'm going to push it towards you.
Okay,
Remember the PGT is on the end.
PGT and ERAD is coming as well. I see it.
And we just had a good view of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir handing over the mini workstation as well as that pistol grip tool that has been utilized throughout today's spacewalk over to NASA astronaut Chris Williams.
Okay, it's on the tether point. I'm going to release your BRT rep.
Copy. I'm ready for it.
Nice work, you two.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, it's not locked. I mean, it's not unlocked.
There it is.
Not going to retract.
Jess, we see you with that red batch. Once you're all cleaned up, you will be rolling 2 clicks station forward to Juliet for a continued reach assessment.
that's in work.
Okay, so your roll pedal, foot is on it. Okay, I think you need to push the pedal a little bit more down. There you go. Just rolled one click.
Okay. Feel it?
Yep. You're one click over from where you were. So you're over one click.
I think I moved more that time.
Nope. That's just still one click from original.
Okay.
Williams and Meir continuing to verify access to all the areas that they will need in order to remove this joint that is no longer working on the Canadarm2 and replace it with a new joint that was already on board the International Space Station. They've already removed that spare joint and have it in a temporary stowage location while they work to verify this access, and then will remove the joint that is no longer working.
Okay.
Nice work.
This wrist joint malfunctioned during normal Canadarm2 operations on May 27th, and the arm drew elevated motor current and did not move as expected. NASA did work alongside the Canadian Space Agency to understand the issue and determine today's spacewalk would be needed to replace the joint.
Copy that. I'll start working on my scoops.
The Canadarm2 launched on April 19, 2001 on Space Shuttle Endeavour and was installed on April 22, 2001 by Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield and NASA astronaut Scott Parazynski.
4 and 5. I can easily touch those. I'm so close that,
This is not the first time the Canadarm2 has been serviced. There have been 3 previous maintenance spacewalks on the arm, one in 2002, one in 2017, and the most recent in 2018. Repairs to robotics like the Canadarm2 are normal and expected after more than 25 years of continuous operations, and the system was designed with replaceable components and planned maintenance in mind.
Copy that.
keeping that ERAD in position. And then the only another option for me would be to roll one more click to my left. Then I think I would be able to see that even more easily.
That is not a bad idea. I was thinking the same thing for those if we really are struggling that we could go one more roll.
I see where the demates are. I think I'm touching them right now on joint 6. But given the angle, I can't actually see the bolt itself.
At this time, as we surpass the 2-hour mark in today's spacewalk, Meir and Williams are continuing to make good progress in the 280th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. NASA astronaut Chris Williams can be seen on the top of your screen wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes. Jessica Meir is below him in the unmarked spacesuit. This is the 2nd spacewalk for Williams and the 5th for Meir.
Jenny wanted to confirm I'm good to install these scoops.
Affirm. We want scoop 7 with the handle Nadir and scoop 6 handle Zenith.
Zenith 7 Nadir, copy.
Chris, if you can push the PGT over here, I can do some reach assessments with it.
Copy. Stand by 1 sec, and I will be right there.
I have it.
You have it? All right. Okay, I've got my joint 6 scoop locked. Working on joint 7 scoop.
Copy.
I have a good angle with the ERAD for bolt 4.
Houston copies.
Also for bolt 5. And for bolt 3.
Copy. We'll take a test for the mate-demate bolts.
And as you can see from this view on your screen, there is a socket that has been placed on the pistol grip tool in order to gain better access to the bolts that need to be removed in order to gain access to the joint 5, which is the joint that will be replaced today.
I think I'm in the area of the mate-demate bolt right now. Chris, do you think that if you were able to get more forward, you could... Actually, I think I might try that roll because I can't see it.
Okay.
Unless you can see it.
Not great. The mate-demate is right.
Should be right near it, right?
Yeah.
Either here or here.
You're right in the spot.
Yeah.
I can't see it with the shadow, or with the lack of light. Let me see if I take a foot out, if I can.
I have a pretty good position with the ERAD right now.
Yeah.
So if I could get the bolt, if I can get it on.
You know, I might be able to roll over one.
All right, let me take my foot out and see if I can lean over and see it.
Yeah. The foot I can get a lot closer, but I still can't. Kind of in a shadow right now.
Okay, I see it.
Williams and Meir working together to make sure that they have good visuals on the joint before working to remove that.
It's all the way flush.
Okay, yeah.
This is the bolt. I'm on it.
There are a series of bolts that they want to have good eyes on in order to properly release that joint.
I think if I roll one more, it might be easier. See about 0.6. Can you pull the bag over to you a little bit? It's in my...
Yep. Stand by. Pulling the bag. Got it.
Chris and Jessica, we're really happy with the reach test you've given us so far, and we agree that at crew discretion, rolling an additional roll forward on Jess's APFR would really help with that bolt. We can see that you're right about on it. We understand the lighting conditions might not be helping us. But right now we're just trying to assess whether we are ready to power down the SSRMS to continue. So we would also like to move to a reach test similarly for the joint 6 mate-demate bolt.
I'm on that right now, Jenny, and it's kind of the same thing. I can see I have the ERAD basically right. I think I'm on it right now.
Copy?
Yeah, I'm on it. I've got a good reach to that. I'm on the bolt. It might have, just like we talked about, if you can get a hand in there.
Yeah. I'm kind of blind for this
one. You might be too far away there.
Yeah, this one I don't think I can.
I think I'm going to be okay here because I can provide enough force upward into the bolt. So I think that this one will, I think I'm good for mate-demate on 6.
Okay.
Okay, that's That's good news for us, so thank you.
The only thing that would help with this, one last comment, the only thing that would help with this demate on 5 is if we could bring the arm station aft a little bit. I think with my roll, with one more roll, it'll help, but it'll be close. But do you think our clearance for coming station aft, even like 5 or 10 centimeters?
From my perspective, I think that would work.
I don't think it would make anything else worse. I think it would make that one better.
Yeah, that works for me.
Would you guys be good with that plan?
Houston would be fine with that plan. We also want a check on the indicator for Joint 6 mate demate.
NASA astronauts Chris Williams and Jessica Meir are continuing to evaluate their visuals and reach in order to begin the next portion of today's spacewalk, which will be to release the Joint 5 from the Canadarm2 and swap it out with the spare joint that they have already grabbed from an area of the International Space Station.
On Joint 6, the indicator on my side or Chris's side of the bolt?
Chris's side.
Okay. It's on my side, and I see it.
See it?
Yep, I see it.
Copy.
Here, it's better that it's on my side.
Yeah.
The one on Joint 5 is on Chris's side. Joint 6 is on my side. So, yeah, I think...
EV from M1, we are following along, and it seems to go as well on our side.
Okay, so, Chris, I'm going to toss you back to PGT then, so it's not in between the arms.
Copy that. Stand by. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to just move it off to the side.
I would suggest starting with 10 centimeters, and then I would call the stop early if I wanted to stop early.
Okay, you have this GCA address.
Okay, copy. Stand by 1 and speak to. Okay, I am ready for that. So, Jack and Sophie, we would want 10 centimeters station aft. I'll call your stop if early.
Okay, and that sounds great. We're about ready to give that to you. We think there's plenty of room between the tip boom and your APFRs, and we don't see anything in front of the tipply as it moves station aft. The shoulder joint looks clear, so all that stuff, all those clearances look good to you guys too, from your perspectives.
Confirm. Yep, we do have the crew lock bag attached to the arm tether point with PGT, and I'll just make sure those don't restrict the motion or get caught on anything.
M1 copies, so give us a minute to prepare the motion.
Following further assessment of reach and visuals on the area that needs full access to today, Meir and Williams are now proceeding with letting ESA astronaut Sophie Adeno inside the International Space Station know they'd like a slight adjustment on the Canadarm2 to give them a little bit better visuals.
EV from M1, we are ready for the motion.
Copy, and I've got this one, so you are go for motion.
Go for motion and start your motion in 3, 2, 1, starting.
Motion continue.
Motion continuing.
And a little bit of adjustment taking place there in the location of the Canadarm 2, as you can see on your screen.
Got good view of the bolt and the indicator now on joint 5, and I think that it has not affected my view of the mate demount for joint 6. So I think we are in a good position.
Yep, I concur.
And hearing good call-outs from Meir that little adjustment might have done the trick, better views of the access point that they need.
Feel free to continue your assessments. Brakes are on right now.
Copy, brakes on. I'm going to pass you back the PGT.
1 second, I'm going to just make sure I can still touch all of these. I'm leaning over, I can see that well. The EDF on point 6, I can almost touch them all. One easy little roll if I have to on one of them would be okay.
Yep, I can touch.
I feel good about this position, Chris.
Yep, I concur. Yep, this will work.
Okay, Houston's following along. Great work, you two. We want to double check with you that you are ready for SSRMS to power down.
I'm comfortable with SSRMS power down. How about you, Jess?
I concur.
Okay, ED is good for SSRMS power down.
M1 copies, and I understand that it's also GCA complete, and we are going to save the arm.
He copies.
Arm is saved.
Copy, safe.
Copy, the arm is saved. We will take the power down from the ground. We are going to wait for the joint 6 demate bolt until the power down is complete. But, Jess, you can ready the PGT with the ERAD. This will be the joint 6 mate demate bolt.
And with that, we did get confirmation that the arm is in a config that allows the proper positioning as well as proper visuals for the next portion of today's spacewalk. You did hear the go for power down. Power down actually happens from here on the ground inside Mission Control Houston from our Robo flight controller. So they'll step through procedures to power down the arm. That will take about 5 minutes or so.
Will also involve your PGT for the EDF on joint 6.
Copy, yeah, I'll get my settings set.
Use a third hand for this ERAD.
Yeah.
And the next set of tasks that our spacewalkers today will work towards will involve removing a set of joints and bolts in order to gain access to the failed joint, that is joint number 5 on the Canadarm 2. Once they have access to joint number 5, they will work to remove the joint and then swap it out with the spare joint that they retrieved earlier today. We are now 2 hours and 15 minutes into the 280th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
I think I'm in a good position for that now with the ERAD aligned in the correct orientation.
And Jenny, my PGT got inadvertently turned off, so I turned it back on. Good cow. And I'm ready in Bravo 7, counter 2, for when it comes time for EDF.
Probably timed out.
That makes sense.
Okay, copy. And Chris, we will have you stand by until we have released the mate demate bolt.
B1, copy all.
Are you saying that's a go to release it, or are we still waiting?
We are still waiting. while we're waiting for the power down here, Chris, we had EDF 3 and 4 written with your PGT, and then we thought that you might need for EDF 5 the ERAD. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree with that. 3 and 4, my PGT will work. 5, definitely need the ERAD. Jessica might also be able to get 5 just as easily. I'm not sure.
5 I can easily get.
Yeah, that's the one on the, yeah.
Okay.
This one right here.
5 on joint 6.
Oh, on joint 6.
That's good to know. We'll keep that in mind when we get to it.
I'm not sure if you can or not, but
no. I can't even see 5. I can just see 6, 1. But, yeah. See 6, 1, and 2.
Okay, yeah. Then I can take 5 with the ERAD.
Copy all, you two. SSRMS is powered down. So with that, Jess, you have a go to release that joint 6 mate demate bolts. This is 35 turns at the bolt, 70 turns on the ERAD at the PGT.
Okay, Jenny, I'm going to count turns on the PGT, and I'm going to try to get lined up here.
Copy. We'll expect 70. That's 70 turns.
And with confirmation that the Canadarm2 has successfully been powered down from here on the ground in Houston, our spacewalkers are using the pistol grip tool, or the PGT, to help demate bolts on joint 6.
Not quite able to get it on there yet.
Copy.
And from this view on your screen here, we can see today's spacewalkers as they work to remove that bolt on the joint to gain better access. The joint number 5 that will be swapped out today is in the center of your screen relative to our spacewalkers.
Okay, I'm on the bolt. I'm going to start turns.
Houston copies.
And my PGT turned off.
Copy.
And on the lower portion of your screen there, you can see NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. She wraps up using that pistol grip tool to release the bolt on joint 6.
LED test battery 46, 40.4. Have alpha 2, counter 3 set.
Good readback of settings.
I'm on the bolt, starting turn.
Copy.
Meir and Williams are working to demate the bolts on the joint 6, though that's not the joint that will be swapped out today, that's joint 5, but this will help them get better access to remove the latching end effector of the space station, sometimes called the lee, but this is essentially the hands of the Canadarm2. These will be removed shortly after these bolts are demated in order to get full access to joint number 5, which is the joint that will be swapped out today.
Came to a hard stop. I counted 69 turns. I see 70 turns on the VGC.
Copy, hard stop, 69 turns, 70 on the PGT. Let's check the indicator.
I can see that the indicator is now protruded.
Okay, that is good news, Jess.
A very difficult position.
Yeah, we understand. You did a great job there. We will have you roll your APFR to Lima to a more vertical position. Your next step will be to drive the EDFs for release. And Chris, if you are in position, we will take a verification.
I think I'm going to...
Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, I just wanted to give, I'm going to have to give Chris the PGT maybe briefly in order to roll.
Okay, and once you are
I got the ERAD
rolled appropriately, you will be releasing EDFs.
Copy.
Hold on, I think the rat for the PGT is caught on something.
I think it's just caught itself. There's nothing back here.
It's caught on the arm. Oh, there it is.
Chris, am I on the roll pedal?
You are a little bit inboard. If you go a little bit wider out, you'll be there. There you are. Yeah, I saw you move up a click.
Yeah, I'm in a good position.
And we are in a handover between our satellites here and do not have visuals of the crew members as they continue work to remove those bolts to get better access to joint number 5 ahead of the eventual swap of that joint with the spare that they retrieved earlier today. But we do still have voice communications with the crew aboard the space station.
That looks like vertical. Oh, no, you're not clicked in. You're not clicked in. You're one click off vertical still. A little more outboard.
I'm hitting the pump module. There we go.
You're still one click off vertical.
Yeah, I think my plus is hitting the... Okay.
Hey, you look like you're on the pedal. I think you might not have been on the pedal for it.
I feel like I'm vertical now.
You're still one click off, but if that works for you, that works.
I think it might be my swing arm on the... Yeah, let me get my swing arm back.
Chris, understand you have eyes on this APFR roll, but we do want you to get ready to release the EDF.
I do.
Either you can start with the ERAD if you need it for a ball.
You're vertical now.
Or start with your PGT.
I can start on 5 with the ERAD if that makes sense now, or I can pass it back to Jessica.
We like you starting on EDF 5 with the ERAD.
Copy EDF-5 with the ERAD in work.
Your settings are Bravo 2, counter 2.
And do you have settings? Bravo 2, counter 2 with the ERAD.
Affirm.
Bravo 2, counter 2 is set.
Copy, set. For EDF-5, we're looking for 11 turns at the PGT.
Copy, 11 turns at the PGT. Starting turns on Joint 6, EDF number 5.
Good words.
And as Williams continues to use the pistol grip tool to remove that fastener, we are getting a view from here inside Mission Control Houston of the flight control team that is being led by NASA Flight Director Fiona Koviak. Today's ground IV is Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons, and our Capcom, or capsule communicator, which has been communicating with the crew on board space station, is JAXA, or Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Aki Hoshide.
Check on EDF-5. When Jess is ready, you can hand the PGT back to her.
Copy, in work.
Okay, I'm still not able to get fully vertical. I think that I'm hitting pump module. I'm going to have to try one more roll. On the pedal now?
No, negative. You're on the foot loop. A little more outboard. Yep, you're on the pedal. Yep. You're on the toe, the heel split, so a little bit more outboard still. Now you're on the pedal.
Chris and Jess, for awareness, we are about 1 minute away from an area of potentially ratty calm due to blockage. It'll last about 3 minutes long. Again, we're 1 minute away from that.
Copy. You're still one click away from vertical, unfortunately.
I'm hitting the module.
Yeah.
I think I'm going there, and then it doesn't lock because I'm hitting the pump module.
You're like super close.
I have my pliff. I think my stapler pliff is hitting the pump module, so...
You look like you're there now.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're locked, you're there.
Okay, I think it is locked now.
Yep, I think you're there.
Okay.
All right, great job. Jess, you can take the ERAD PGT.
Copy.
Got it.
Have it.
Okay, copy that. Crew lock bag kind of came with you. Hopefully it's not in the way.
So why don't we lock this out a little bit?
For the rat?
Yeah. Oh, it's okay right now. Okay. And I am good for any of these EDFs, or I'm going to save one for last.
Yep, that's what we have written.
2 or 6.
You can do EDF-2 or EDF-6. Your settings are Bravo 2, counter 2.
And Jenny, I am ready to work on 3 and 4, looking for settings.
Bravo 7, counter 2, settings for Chris.
Settings for Chris, Bravo 7, counter 2, set.
And that was Bravo 2, counter 2 for Jessica?
Affirm.
Now 2 hours and 30 minutes in today's spacewalk, we are continuing to hear Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons provide good words up to the crew on board space station. Just moments ago, continuing to give language about the pistol grip tool settings that they should be utilizing in order to remove these fasteners and bolts from the 6th joint on the Canadarm2.
Going out nicely.
This will help the crew members gain access to joint number 5, which will be the joint that is swapped out later today.
For EDF-2, and you can pull the lanyard out.
Actually, Jenny, and I turned on the PG, and it was fully released.
And it does look like we are in that expected period of communications where we don't have perfect communications. This happens from time to time when we have handover between our satellites, but we don't expect it to last long, just about 3 minutes or so. Then we'll have communications restored with the crew that is outside the International Space Station currently, as well as to the ground. We might hear intermittent communications between now and then as well.
Released 5.5 turns and pulled out fully.
Okay, Houston's back with you.
Okay, I'm going to get into a position
That
for
was
6.
some Radicom. We copy EDF4 released and pulled out. Jess, I missed your clarification on EDF2.
So EDF2 release, it released at 5.5 turns on the PGT, so half the number of turns is expected.
Okay, we copy and understand you're moving on to EDF6.
Yep, and I'm working on EDF3.
Copy, that's the right bolt.
Starting EDF6.
Copy.
EDF3 fully released with 5.5 turns and pulled out.
Copy. Good EDF3 release. Chris, you can stow your PGT.
Please, PGT stowed.
Jenny, I have 11 turns on the PGT on bolt 6, fully released.
Copy. EDF6 fully released. The lanyard is pulled out. Jess, you will be releasing the final bolt while Chris gets into config to maintain control of the lead cluster. I would like you to ret to, we have written joint 7 scoop before that final bolt.
I can copy, and that was just with a mini workstation wrap.
A-firm, 25 seconds to handover.
And can you confirm the position that I should be in, Jenny, for this?
You should roll vertical to Bravo. Short handover.
If you're just joining us today, we are 2 hours and 34 minutes into the 280th spacewalk outside the International Space Station. NASA astronauts Chris Williams and Jessica Meir exited the Quest airlock at 7:30 a.m. Central Time this morning and are working to replace a wrist joint that malfunctioned during normal Canadarm2 operations on May 27th.
Copy.
Thus far, the crew has retrieved the spare joint from the International Space Station and temporarily stowed it, and are working to complete procedures in order to gain access to joint number 5, which includes removing some bolts and attachments and eventually removing the lee or latching end effector, essentially the hands of the Canadarm2.
Anywhere on these EDFs or anything.
Copy.
Houston's back with you after the handover, and we see the ret to the scoop for Jess. Before you release this bolt, we have a couple of things to talk through. Chris, let me know when your APFR is set, and I'll give you the words.
And just one quick thing, we need to move the spare point. It's kind of in the way. So I'm going to need to rotate it.
Copy, we see that.
I think that's in a good position now.
All right, we agree. And Chris, confirm, it looks like you're in Bravo, is that right?
I can't see my flicks on my... I am more vertical than I was.
You're not as vertical as me, so I think you're one vertical, you're not vertical, you're one forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we think this is a sufficient position to release the last bolt and maintain control, is that right?
Yep, I concur. I have a good hold on both scoops.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to change my scoop on joint 6 because it's interfering. It is interfering, unfortunately, with the ERAD. I didn't think it would, but given the multiple angles here, it will. So I'm going to have to put it pointing forward later, but then I need to assess that reach.
Copy, we're talking about it. 30 seconds to hand over.
PGT if that might work.
I probably could do it with your PGT, but then you would have to put your PGT back.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think, Jenny?
Short handover.
See, I don't know if you can see, but
and
the handle is just like, it looks like it's going on.
And we're in another brief handover period between our satellites, but we'll regain those communications and visuals here shortly. Today's spacewalk is the third of the year, as well as the third of Expedition 74, which is the current increment aboard the International Space Station.
We will not have eyes on you for the next 7 minutes or so. I'll take a status, and I have some words for you before release.
Chris, I think I did get into a position.
Copy, I see you on it, on the bolt. But Jessica's just, I've got good control. ED1 has good control of 2 scoops on joints 6 and 7. Jessica has the ERAD on the last EDF.
Okay.
Confirm, I have the ERAD ready, and I'm ready to release.
Copy. Before we release, we do need to do a HAP and a glove check before we do the mass handling for the Lee cluster. So I'll take that from you both.
E1 has a dry HAP and no change to the gloves.
E2, same.
All right, that's a good config. We are 2 hours and 40 minutes into this 6-hour, 30-minute EVA, limiting consumable EV2 battery, 7 hours and 35 minutes. We are 15 minutes down on the timeline, but with that, we are ready, if you two are, to release the final EDF. And Chris, you maintain control. You have to avoid contact with the Lee mouth, latches, and CLA lens and light. And Chris, once you pass control back to Jess, you will be getting out of your APFR and on the FSE first. We are go.
Copy that and confirm you have a ret on the Jessica.
I do.
All right. Yep, I'm good.
And your visor's in a good config. I just put mine down.
Yep.
Okay. Ready. If you give me a go, I'm going to start releasing.
Yep, I'm go for you to release.
Okay, copy, go.
And with that, we did hear a bit of communication between the ground and our spacewalkers, NASA astronauts, Chris Williams and Jessica Meir. We heard a glove and a HAP check. That, again, happens from time to time throughout the duration of every spacewalk that we do. The crew takes a look at their gloves, makes sure there's no cuts or tears in the gloves, as well as does a HAP, helmet absorption pad check. This is a absorbent pad that is inside the helmet of every crew member when they do a spacewalk to help absorb any liquid should it become loose during a spacewalk. Both crew members reported good gloves, good hats, and have the go to remove the last attachment on the lee cluster, that latching end effector cluster, essentially the arms of the hands rather of the Canadarm 2. Once this is done, the crew will have much better access to the joint number 5 area of the Canadarm 2, which is the joint that will be removed and replaced during today's spacewalk.
And maybe a little bit more station aft, and then we can start this rotation.
Happy?
Ready to start the rotation?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we'll watch the clearance of this joint, and we'll start a gentle roll.
Okay, coming slowly.
Yep. Okay, we're going to need to come a little more station out.
See that?
Okay.
Okay, I need to switch hands.
Okay, I'll hold here.
Okay, you have control?
I have control.
Back on.
Okay, if you're back on, I'm going to switch hands.
Okay.
All right, I'm switching hands.
I have control.
You have control. Okay, we're going to need to come more station aft. I'm back on.
Okay. Can't see the clearance anymore to my left because my arm's in the way.
We don't have any. We need to move a fair bit station aft. Can you take control with both hands? I need to get myself more vertical, I think.
I have control with both hands.
All right, you have control with both hands. I'm releasing. And I am working to get myself fully vertical.
And we do have a couple minutes remaining in this handover where we will not have visualization of NASA astronauts Chris Williams and Jessica Meir. Again, this does happen from time to time as we have handover between our satellites. We can continue to hear them during this handover period, though. You're getting a look from live inside Mission Control Houston here at the Johnson Space Center. The Orbit 2 team is on console supporting today's spacewalk.
I'm in a comfortable position, so take your time.
The flight director during this Orbit 2 shift is NASA Flight Director Fiona Ankoviak, who you can see on your screen there. Today's ground IV, who has been communicating with the crew during the duration of today's spacewalk, now approaching 2 hours and 45 minutes, is Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons.
Repositioning this spare, which is right in my workspace.
You're above the total?
Yep. Thank you.
And we should be getting visuals back of the crew here momentarily.
Okay, moving the spare. I'm just going to move the spare way out of the way.
Yeah, because remember, we're going to both have to squeeze in there, so
yeah.
I would say as far starboard and zenith as it can get.
Yeah,
and then
agree.
Really tighten up that ball stack. Also, just so you don't get caught on anything, the camera on your rep, right, the rep on your camera is not, yeah.
I see it.
And it's, yeah, I think looking at the rest of your tethers, I see a good config.
Okay.
I think it gives me a preview as well.
All right. Yep, I'm looking at you. Your tethers all looking at good config. You need to bring the lee a little bit more towards me so I can get a hand on it.
Okay.
Okay. Working it. And I've got one hand.
I still have two hands, and
I got two hands.
So we are touching the joint 5, which is okay. It's just the MLI is touching the MLI, but we can't come any more nadir.
Yep, let's come station aft. Okay. How are we? Let's see.